Let's talk about what you get with a President Joe Biden. With this story from the Daily Mail, White House apologizes for glaring national security blunder after publishing photos showing the faces of U.S. Special Forces as they met Joe Biden in Israel. Holy crap. They posted on Instagram a photo of all the dudes and their faces. People are commenting that these dudes are basically had their death warrant signed. They're not going to be able to operate now. People are going to be looking for them. Their faces, that's it. Their faces are out there. The moment it was posted. And this is the Biden administration. Well, and we might go to war with this? Come on.
Man.
What about the guy, and my memory is not serving me, I'm pulling a Joe Biden at this moment. What about the guy that took a picture on the submarine? You know what I'm talking about? That they said it was a national security risk. He took a picture in the submarine. How is that different than a national security risk of exposing something like this, doxing somebody, and then Joe Biden and his administration were responsible? Why are they not being held accountable?
Man.
Well, they just made a mistake because they're the social
baloney.
media influencers, right?
Oopsie-doopsie.
It's just a little millennial at Gen Z mistake, right? I mean, like, the obvious answer is because the White House doesn't take the security of our troops seriously, no matter how many platitudes Joe Biden presents in his 15-minute speech.
Unless it's on purpose. What happens if special forces get attacked?
He'll just, you know what Joe Biden will be doing? He'll be watching his watch as the caskets are before him with the American flag draped over the bodies that he's responsible for.
And then does he go on TV and say, my fellow Americans, today a horrific terror attack took the lives of 12 special forces. The United States will not stand for this, and so I am hereby authorizing the detachment of insert whatever.
Yeah, it's going to be.
And then the cycle continues.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's going to be one of these flashpoints. I'm just waiting for the day when they use one of these things that we're all talking about for like their casus belli, like Tim's been talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what are you guys going to do when World War III starts? I was thinking about hanging out in the storeroom with all our food buckets and closing the door and turn the lights off.
Yeah, probably play Starfield.
Play Starfield?
Age of Empires.
Have you been playing Starfield? Is that any good?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah?
I like it. I think it got too much criticism.
Yeah?
But I've been on Age of Empires kick.
Oh,
that's a good one.
Is there a new one?
No. Like AoE 3.
Classic one.
Wow, old school.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, what about you, Scott? What's your plans for World War III? You gonna have a World War III party?
My goal is to stop it. I mean, no, I'm serious.
Scott's got elections too.
I told you, he's Republican Jesus.
My goal is to stop it. But I want people to really understand how consequential the next couple weeks are leading into these elections. If we win these elections in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Mississippi, then our allies will be emboldened. But if we lose, the Democrats will be emboldened. The military-industrial complex will be emboldened. The establishment will be emboldened. Everything that we're seeing right now is only going to be amplified. So, I mean, really, guys, November 7th, Tuesday, November 7th, come out and vote. And think about it. Like, even in Virginia, having Governor Glenn Youngkin empowered, having a trifecta state government, and think about who lives in Virginia. You want to talk about contractors? You want to talk about the military? You want to talk about everybody that works at the Pentagon? Those are all the people living in Northern Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How did you get into this? Like, what was the moment where you were like, I have to be the one to act? Because I'm so curious. I think there are a lot of people who say this is an issue, but they don't take that initiative.
I want to thank President Obama. No, I'm serious.
He never gets enough recognition on this show.
I feel like I never know what's going to come out of his mouth.
I'm serious. No, the night that he was reelected, I was so mad. I actually created my Twitter account that night in November of 2012. People don't know that. If you go look at my profile right now at Scott Presler, it says created November 2012. So fact check me. But I was just angry. I realized that, look, inaction means you are the problem and not the solution. And I wanted to be the change I wanted to see. I know as tired as that sounds, but I'm serious. I just want people to give a darn and to do something. And most importantly, to take positive action. It's not negative. It's not pejorative. It's not just shouting at the sky at clouds on social media, but doing something to make a positive actual change.
You know what I want to do? I want to get a nice recliner. Maybe those ones that have the automatic massagers.
Oh, Lord.
I want to lay back. I want to order pizza and wings.
Oh.
And I want to play video games and hang out with my friends. The only problem is we're not able to do that when the world is falling apart.
Yeah.
And then while I'm trying to mind my own business in my comfortable chair, I'm looking around and be like, no one is doing anything about this.
Yeah.
And then someone's like, well, why don't you? And I'm like, all right.
Fine,
I guess. So I'm only half joking. I mean, the issue is, I think there's many things that we find enjoyment in, hobbies and things like that. But we're all driven to try and solve whatever these problems are and seek out the issues and do the work. Yeah. Do the
No,
work.
trust me, I don't want this to be my life. I would love right now, instead of being here, with all due respect, I love being here, but I'd like to be in a hot tub with an ice cold coffee, watching a horror movie with a lumberjack. Like, honestly,
Very
We're in
specific.
West Virginia, so we can make part of that habit.
that would be my dream. But, you know, we're called for a time like this. Honestly, this work that we're doing right here, we're influencing lives. We're bringing this important news to people that hopefully we can come together as a family and we can solve those problems.
Thanks, Obama.
I hope
Thank
you get
you.
your hot tub and your lumberjack. You
Me
deserve
too.
it, Scott.
Me
You
too.
really do.
I was at I was getting food at a diner the other day and walked past a liquor store that has has a front entrance and a back entrance because there's like the commercial street and then the shopping center street. But on one side where the main road is, there's a big sign on the door saying this door has been closed due to an increase in shoplifting.
Wow.
And I'm just like, man, thanks, Joe Biden. You know, like everything
even
was
around these parts.
yeah. Well, this was Maryland. You go to West Virginia, I don't recommend shoplifting because you might get really hurt if you're like taking stuff. Some don't mess around with West Virginians.
That's awesome.
Maryland though, Maryland, this is really crazy. You've got, as soon as you cross the river from Virginia or West Virginia into Maryland, literally like right on the other side of the river, there are stories of like roving bands of criminals who just beat the crap out of people and steal their stuff. I'm not kidding. You go to West Virginia, nothing. I wonder why. I wonder what it could be like. Separated by
carry
100
laws-
feet.
I mean, I'm sorry for being ignorant here. Are the carry laws that different in
Yes.
West Virginia
Yes.
versus
Maryland, you will get
Dramatically different.
arrested.
Yep.
You will go to jail.
You can't carry it. Do you need a permit?
You need
Good
a
luck getting one.
concealed permit.
Yeah, good luck.
Wow.
In West Virginia, I believe the presumption is if you're armed. So I think you need an ID. I think you need to be a state resident. I'm not sure. Actually, no, I don't think that's true.
No, you
Yeah.
don't have to be serious.
Yeah. If you just like you're from anywhere and you go to West Virginia and you have a gun concealed or open, it's constitutional carry.
Right.
And not a crime.
There was a state trooper who was watching arrest someone once, and he was like, the guy being arrested was like, "Hey, that guy has a gun," and the trooper was like, "I know, it's West Virginia." Everybody
I know. Yeah, you're in West Virginia, dude. But you cross the river right into Maryland, and nobody has any guns. And it's because Baltimore rules Western Maryland,
Yep.
and that's why Western
that
Maryland.
makes sense.
Western Maryland's like, we want to jump ship and join West
They
Virginia.
tried. Yeah, they wrote letters being like, we would like to secede from Maryland and join West Virginia. And it's really funny because wasn't there like a big lawsuit in Virginia trying to seize the Panhandle from West Virginia back in the day?
I don't know.
I'm
You're
not
talking about,
sure.
like the Cumberland area?
Yeah, like something happened where first there was a lawsuit over whether or not West Virginia could remain a state after the end of the Civil War, but then there was a question about the Panhandle counties that were part of Virginia and they wanted to be West Virginia. And they were like, no, and then it ended up happening. But now even Maryland wants to join West Virginia.
Yeah, well, when Western Maryland wrote to Charleston, the capital of West Virginia, and said, "Can we please join?" They were like, "For sure. Ask Baltimore." Now that's totally dead in the water. That
makes no sense
There's
to me.
a couple counties that border, especially the Eastern Panhandle, that have clauses from way back in the day, back to the Civil War, that say, should we stop liking being part of Virginia, we get to secede and join West Virginia. They just have to act on it.
Yeah.
Well, that's Virginia though. And so these are like
It's not Maryland. Maryland is much stricter.
But I genuinely don't get this. If we are a country that is founded upon the consent of the governed and the county votes to join a different state, the only question is a question for Congress of recognition, not a question for Maryland.
Right.
And I honestly think you can argue that Congress doesn't recognize it, but the state laws should be immediately assumed by West Virginia.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. I mean, if you even go towards Cumberland, it feels like West Virginia because it basically is West Virginia. It doesn't feel like Maryland at
Cumberland's
all.
cool though.
Yeah,
cool
it is.
spot.
It
Went to a
is.
coin shop there once. That's where I bought the coin that was the same currency that was used by Saint Casper to travel to meet baby Jesus.
That's cool.
Yeah, I gifted it to Seamus because I thought it was cool. Well, we don't know that the coin itself was used by Saint Casper, but it's the same currency that was minted around the same time that was used by him. So, there may have been like 100 coins minted. He got them, and then this one was minted for some other reason, or it could be one he had. Who knows?
Is that the impetus for Casper Coffee?
No, we have Cast Brew coffee.
Oh.
not Casper.
Here I am
Casper.
thinking Casper coffee.
I like it. That's our
I
ghost
was like,
version.
well, it is Halloween.
Yeah. We do have a Halloween-ish type blend,
Casper
right?
makes much more
Oh, we have
sense.
Mr. Boca's Pumpkin Spice
And
Experience.
The re-rise with Roberto Jr.
Yeah,
That's
but I'm-
the-
You have a pumpkin spice one?
We have a year-round pumpkin
The
spice
basic
one.
white
Come
girl
on,
perks up.
business lady.
But I don't feel like it tastes. It does taste like pumpkin spice, but you know it's not the same because when you actually order pumpkin spice somewhere, they put the spices in it.
Yeah.
So this is like a pumpkin spice flavored coffee. So it's like you get what you
there.
get. Like I'm not here to lie to people. Like when it comes to the coffee that we sell, I think the pumpkin spice is good. I wouldn't choose that one if I'm gonna have I'm gonna choose Appalachian Nights. It is just insanely. It's the best coffee I've ever had. I can't even no question.
good blend, yeah.
Easy for me to say. I'm the one who formulated it. Like we got the coffee samples and then we tested a bunch of different blends and then we came up with ours and I love it.
I want to try some of this.
We have some. We have
Do it on live.
a mess.
Yeah. We should do a taste test.
Yeah, we'll do
a
it.
bunch.
X Live.
Oh yeah,
Be
and
fun,
Roberto
we
Jr.
should.
is super good too. Rest in peace.
Yeah. I want to get one of those limited edition ones. I need to get one.
Limited edition.
The re-rise.
Oh, the
ones.
re-rise.
Yeah.
That's an entirely different blend though. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, still.
So do you think people are going to be affected? Forgive me if I already asked this question tonight, but with international skirmishes kicking up, do you think people will go to the polls or do you think it'll not be enough to break through voter apathy? Because I feel like that's a problem in every election cycle for both parties. There's a certain number of people that just don't bring themselves to vote.
No, I think this is definitely reinvigorating. I mean, look, elections have consequences. We're seeing this unfold right now because Joe Biden is president and the world doesn't respect him. Our enemies don't fear us anymore. And in part, is it possible that more people voted in that Louisiana election because of this? I mean, Israel happened right before, right? Hamas attacking Israel. Were people inspired to understand the gravity of the situation? I firmly believe so. But more importantly, I hope this helps wake people up. Do American Jews, do Jews across the world understand that President Obama, President Biden, and Democrats fund Iran and therefore fund Hamas and therefore fund the attacks against Israel? Does the Jewish community now understand that their votes have been funding terrorism?
Yeah, it's very powerful. This is a totally separate question. Sorry for the terrible tangent, but how do you respond to calls for same-day voting? I know this is probably something that doesn't fit into your...
Oh, no. I could talk about this all day long. I'm here to win. I'm here to defeat Joe Biden and make him a one-term president. And so therefore, you know, I want to preface this by saying I understand people's hesitancy. I understand the nostalgia of wanting to vote in person on election day, to lack in your vote. But the one thing that kind of haunts me is I think of Nevada, and Adam Laxalt was running for Senate. He lost his election by 8,000 votes. 8,000. Now, I'm not saying that the reason why he lost is because it snowed in Reno, Nevada, Washoe County, a Republican county on election day. But what I do know is 150,000 Nevada registered Republicans stayed home and didn't vote in 2022. I know that for a fact. Lost by 8,000, 150,000 Republicans stayed home. And it gets worse because all of those eligible voters in Nevada receive a ballot whether or not they request one. That means that people were so demoralized, dejected, in despair, or maybe they heard from people, don't vote by mail, so they didn't. And they didn't even walk 10 feet to their mailbox to drop it in. 150,000. Oregon, we lost by 62,000 votes in the gubernatorial election. 126,000 registered Oregonian Republicans did not vote, and they're only a vote by mail state. We could have a Republican governor in Oregon on the left coast with all those hippies over there. My people, had we actually just filled in a mail-in ballot and voted. And so my goal is, guys, look, to you at home, especially the listener that's watching right now, please, if we want to actually win this year in November and next year in 2024, we have to have a diverse approach to voting. And look at Pennsylvania. We got 80,000 Amish, I am calling for the Amish who get married on Tuesdays in November because they are baby-making machines and they are doubling their population twice in the last century. I want to get a mail-in ballot in the hands of every Amish person in America, and I want to put drop boxes in every Amish enclave.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.